Have fun today.
Oh, yeah? You ready?
You didn't sleep.
Oh, you got bad, huh?
No, I can tell. I know how you are.
So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Sam Campos. And just to let you know, the Hawaii comic book scene would not be how it is today without Sam. His independent creation, Pineapple Man, set the tone in the 90s that rivaled sales of the X-Men, Batman, Spider-Man. And that's because your community, our community, rallied around this local flavor that blended the best in pop culture with its roots in Hawaii. It's really important to note that Sam has had a career that has been heavily in filmmaking, heavily in comics, and has inspired generations of comic creators in Hawaii and on the mainland as well with his success. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to a man that I am sure you're familiar with, Mr. Pineapple Man himself, Mr. Sam Campos. Sam, I'm just so grateful that you are here. You mean so much to so many people, and it would not be an amazing Comic-Con without you here on our show floor. And it would also mean so much because Pineapple Man is celebrating its 30th anniversary.
30 years, I've been doing this.
30 years, it seems like yesterday, right?
Ouch, my back.
Okay, well, you know what? So with Pineapple Man, okay, 30 years ago, what made you decide, going, you know what? I want to draw a comic book.
I hated my job.
Okay, you know what? We all find inspiration from a number of different things. So not digging where you are in life, okay, this must have been a great escape for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's scary. To do creative things like that, especially in this state, we consider it to be a lofty thing. A lot of people don't understand, they appreciate it. Around that time, I did comments, I was working 3 jobs. And the number one comment my family would make is, oh, you're working too hard, you need to take a break to spend some time with the family. They give me a hard time like that. So when I quit all my jobs to do comic books, the question was, is Sam on drugs?
Okay, were you on drugs?
Well, you gotta be crazy to do this kind of thing. As you know, as a promoter to these kind of conventions.
Well, you know what, sometimes when you take a big leap, you know what, you do it without a safety net. And I'm sure that's how it was with creating Pineapple Man and the Pineapple Man universe.
Well, my uncle used to say, he's like, there's that saying about going out on a limb. He says, you're not supposed to live on a limb. He says, you gotta be insane to do this kind of stuff. So the thing is, a lot of people, you see like a final product, like a movie, an actor, an actress, model, whatever it is, people only see the success. They think it's from here to there. They don't see the direction. It goes all over the place, and twists and turns, stuff like that. Perseverance is what it's all about, as you know.
Well, no, you know what, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. I'm going to turn over the stage directly to you. I just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for welcoming the amazing Comic-Con into Honolulu, into Hawaii, because when we first decided, hey, this is an event that we want to come on out to, first person that we called locally was Sam, because Sam, all roads lead to Sam, Sam leads to all roads, and with that, I want to leave you with Mr. Sam Campos.
I got to tell you guys, about amazing Comic-Con coming to Hawaii. I've done San Diego, I've been in mainland, LA, all this stuff like that. Out of all the conventions, this is the only one that actually cares about the local community, about the local creative people, and of course family. That's why we have family and kids come in, 10 under, 3 all weekends. So when
and it's Kids Day today.
It's Kids Day today, especially. So it made total sense to support a convention like this. So I'm glad all you guys came out here today. We want to make sure that these things survive, so everybody has a place to celebrate the things that they love. So
well, Sam, let me get off the stage. They want to hear you more than they want to see me. Thank you so much for being here.
All right, everybody. So if you guys are standing around, you guys are scared to come up, don't worry. We got plenty of seats and stuff like that. I don't bite too much. I'm just going to start with this one right over here. All right, so first things first, I want to say aloha, good morning, everybody. So we're going to make some big noise when you guys up. Ready, say aloha! Aloha! That's how we're doing. All right. So my name is Sam Campos, and the first thing I have to say is I don't deserve to be up here. That's how I feel. I'm surrounded by amazing, fantastic artists everywhere like this, and I haven't gone to school for this. I draw with a Sharpie, and I am in awe in the wealth of experience and talent that we have here. So for me to stand up here, I'll be honest, it's a little odd, but here I am. So the whole story about Pineapple Man is, as I mentioned before, I was working 3 jobs. As a kid, I wanted to do aviation, and I didn't have money. I didn't get my scholarship. I took a summer job. I woke up one day, it was 7 years later. Married, got no money, still not in college. So my wife at the time, Jen, had encouraged me to do some submissions to Marvel Comics, and I was received very well. Image wanted me, and a guy at Marvel wanted me, so I almost was going to do Spider-Man at one point. When I was in San Diego Comic-Con, I walked around, and I saw a bunch of different things happening. And there was a man named Richard Dominguez. There's going to be a series coming out soon. You guys hear about it. It's called El Gato Negro. It's about a luchador crime fighter. It takes place in Corpus Christi, Texas. I met him. I was really impressed with him. And another guy named John Proudstar. So you guys seen the TV series called Reservation Dogs? My friend John is one of the actors who plays the uncle there. He had a Native American team called Tribal Force. Kind of like the Avengers, but all Native Americans. And what those 2 guys told me is, well, you're from Hawaii. You guys have any Hawaii superheroes? And I said, no. They go, where are you drawing? How come you don't do it? So I put that little bug in my head. So my wife, Jen, had told me that because I started thinking about that, she said, well, you should dig up your character, Pineapple Man. So Pineapple Man I made up as a joke in high school simply just to pass the class. And I didn't think it was a good idea. I think the name was stupid. I thought, who's going to want to buy? You know, I made it as a joke. It wasn't supposed to be serious. And she kept bugging me. What she did was, for Christmas, she made a little booklet and she wrote 5 pages. Drew the characters in it. One of them standing over here for the first time right there. She's the lovely young lady. So she put this character in the book, and I gotta tell you guys, when somebody draws something that you created, somebody took the time to sit down and actually draw it, does something to you. At least it did to me. I was blown away by the fact. She also printed up credit cards. Basically, it showed that somebody believed the crazy idea that I had. So having that come into my life, I redrew her pages in my style, and I thought, well, maybe we got something. But I can't do Pineapple Man because it sounds stupid. In fact, one of the guys at Marvel heard that I might be working for them, and he said, oh, here we have a pineapple working for us. I'll give you a pineapple. So, if I'm going to create a character that's going to go out there and on the main stage, and I already have to name my Pineapple Man, I have to think about all the different things. You know what I'm going to do is, I'm going to invite my characters up here right now. We're going to talk about them. So, we have my team over here. Come on, you guys. Okay, it's on the stage. Yeah. We're going to talk about the design of the character. So I made up as a joke in school and I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. There we go. Making a debut, the first time I've ever seen the character Miyoko Tabata created by Genesis Maya. And of course we have Luke Van Chung, and one of my live action characters, it was a kamikaze assault trooper from a TV series I was trying to develop. So we're going to talk about how that goes and how pursuing the things you like turn into different things. So we're going to have Pineapple Man come right over here in the front. So when I started to revamp the character, I wanted to make something that wasn't going to be made fun of, because we're from Hawaii. People to this day, you know, the 50th state think we don't have shoes, we don't have cars, we don't have grass shacks. The number one question I would get at the Comic-Con is, how did I get here? I told them I paddled my canoe here. They were like, really? I actually had one guy, he said, for real? I said, yeah, my back is killing me. And he went. An hour later he comes back because I told him, oh, my canoe's at mooring number 34. This guy went to look for it. He's like, dude, your canoe's gone. I'm like, oh, bro. I think I'm on the side. So you ever seen Hawaii 5-0 back? Guys like, yeah, I remember this car is a place. But the thing is, people don't know us. And how we're presented there in different things is we're always the big, dumb, brown guy in a Aloha shirt and barefoot. So what I had to do is think of this character. When I started to clean up the character and revamp it, I started to think about the things. And a funny thing happened to me is the last thing I worked on when I was still in high school, I got really, really sick and had this real image of poo for some reason. So when I went to redesign the character, this is basically what it looks like. So Kuka Ilimuku, the Hawaiian god of war and favor by King Kamehameha the Great. We built a Luakini Heiau called Hu'uhokala, the big island of Hawaii. That was his crowning jewel that actually enabled him to unite the entire islands under one rule. It's never been done before. Think about it. Neolithic kings able to do this because they say he was a blessed by Ku. He had the strength of 10 men. European observers have noted him doing superhuman things that they can't explain. So I thought about that and I went into that. Kuka Ilimuku, the Hawaiian god of war, has a big mohawk, big teeth, terrifying mouth, and a big eyeballs, stuff like that. Design of the character, we have what's called kupe'e. You find in hula dancers and stuff like that. Sometimes warriors wear this stuff while going into war. It's decorative, but also helps fend off being grabbed and different kinds of things. So when it grabs your arm, the thing comes off, you have another chance to live. Design of the traditional leo mano, because it's a traditional Hawaiian weapon. And since I'm Chinese, he has nunchucks as well. The Japanese influence in our culture, he has tabi. What I didn't realize is being from Hawaii and all different cultures here, it shaped me and shaped the character on its own. So now I got something to work with. The Leo Mano, fascinating story how this came about, is I was on the island of Hawaii and I encountered vampire hunters. And these people were not crazy, they were well financed, they had about 8 guys with metal backpacks. What were they doing on Hawaii looking for vampires? So when I heard the story, they asked me the question, instead of asking them why they were here, my brain went to the history. Luckily I know Kauai enough, and there's a network of caves behind us with the lepers. When they're trying to collect the lepers from Kauai, they jumped off the ship, lived in the back of the valley. King Kalakaua sent cannons up there to try to blow these guys out, and couldn't do it. So I knew about the lava tubes in the cave, so I sent these guys there. And I kept kicking myself in the butt for a year as we decided to make this character, what was the first story going to be about. So I thought about, well, what if instead of looking for vampires, these guys were actually looking for something in our Hawaiian culture, in our history. What do we have here? We have called shark people. Everybody heard of shark people? Now is the most famous, the king of the sharks. So what if they're in Kauai thinking they're looking for vampires, but they're actually looking for a Hawaiian demigod? And that's how I went with the story. Long story short, Samu Poho, the pineapple man, he recently got transformed into this thing, so struggling with why this happened to him, ended up fighting with Nanaue and killed him. He barely died. Fishermen rescued him, recognized what he fought, ripped the jaw, and made his weapon. Because it's a magical creature, this ain't cut through anything. So if I'm going to go to the mainland, I got guys like Wolverine, this claws can cut through metal, right? Now I got something that can open a tent that can open. Now I got something to come with the people that will stand toe to toe. My favorite part was, we're going to Comic-Con. So we're here to field at Comic-Con for the first time. I had 3 cars. I sold 2 cars and 1 of my motorcycles and some of my furniture just to pay for printing and to pay for our hotel and the booth. We barely had enough to pay for food for the week. It was so bad, we can tell you, the family actually made us to be and stuff like that to take with us. We didn't know how it was going to go. About 2 or 3 days before we left the San Diego Comic-Con, people said, you're going to fail. I said, why? They go, it's too ethnic. Nobody's going to understand it. Terrifying. Let me tell you guys, to leave the stability of working 3 jobs, to do something crazy like pursue your dream, not going to San Diego Comic-Con, and people are telling me it's going to fail. It was terrifying. So we get to San Diego Comic-Con, I have a big banner, this Pineapple Man, Hawaii superhero, and as the booth, the convention's full of people, I would hear people walk past, point at that, and laugh. And what they would expect was a big, giant pineapple with tennis shoes. When I invited them to the booth, I started flipping open the page, they were not ready for the mohawk and the teeth that I had. So I called Pineapple Man the name a false crack. Because pineapples, even though you're not Hawaiian, they consider that's what we are. Pineapples are from Hawaii, right? Yeah. So you take that negativity, and flip it around, and it's worked for me ever since. So to go ahead and do something like this, guys, it is a crazy thing to do, and it opened the door for different things. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, to do creative things, comic books and stuff like that, unless you're working for a company, it is not the most lucrative thing. So it's not for the faint of heart. In fact, for me, I guess as a conventional thinker, as a man, quitting my job to have my wife support me while I was doing this and she lived in me, it beat up my ego. I could not deal with it. It's like, oh my God, I'm not going to take care of my family when I'm doing it. And I struggled and I faltered. So after struggling with it for a few years, I ended up working at the University of Hawaii and working on Hollywood picked up and actually stopped working on the character for a while. And finally, some people kind of bugged me. This guy right here is one of them. This is Doc Grant, everybody from Lion Publishing. They were bugging me and telling me that we need to do something again. And reluctantly, I went out and did it again. And since that time, we've expanded. A lot of the publishing stuff here is part of our coalition of, not our coalition, our HUI, our group of comic publishers called the Hawaiian Comic Alliance. So because of trying to trailblaze and do this thing ourselves. Back in the day when we did this comic book, people talked about a shoestring budget. We had what's called a slip or strap budget. There was no money in it. We didn't have a computer, we couldn't do anything. A lot of the panels, the word bubbles in our first comic book, we literally had to cut and paste the word bubbles and glue it on top of that. We're talking about stone knives and bear skins, everybody. And yet, despite that fact, we went to San Diego Comic-Con, we blew everybody out of the water. I had no expectations of it. We did so well that everybody in our row just didn't sell anything. I felt horrible about that. But it was interesting to me that CNN, Talk Soup, and a bunch of different news people came to see the weird people, the Hawaiian people over there from Hawaii, and it was just an amazing thing. And the funny thing is, when I was taking my books to a lot of comic book stores, you show up with a book like Pineapple Man, they're like, what is this stuff? So I went from being laughed out of the stores When I come back from the mainland, my phone's ringing off the hook, and you hear like, Mr. Campos, we'd love to have your comic book in the store. So a lot of times, you know, there's a lot of Doc knows. So a lot of times if you have something that you guys want to do, people are not going to believe it. They're going to laugh at you, right? So if you just stick with it, like these guys, I mean, I literally got laughed all the story. Let me tell you guys, when you're going in there, not sure what you're doing, you present it to somebody and they just make fun of you. It's ego crushing. You can't let them stray. And by just continuing on the way, these guys not only addressed me correctly, they respected me, and we were able to have a good relationship since then. And because of these kind of things, it spills out into other different areas, and stuff like this happens over here. So I want to tell you guys about my man Jay over here. So what's funny is I'd only done 4 comic books. My second one sold out more than X-Men and X-Men and Batman, the one that came out. And I got on the radar for the news, and the University of Hawaii called me up. I knew I'd be a teacher there. Remember I told you guys they have no money to go to college? But here I am going to college. I'm teaching at a college. So you guys don't have a degree, right? So you go, we'll get you in under what's called practical life experience. I was hated very greatly by the staff from the college because they went to college and I didn't. I mean, I'd walk into a room, they'd be talking, they'll be quiet. So this guy here, Jay, he had told me, I don't know if you remember this conversation, we were walking one day and he told me he really appreciated the class. He was an art student, he learned more in my class in 3 days than he did in 3 years. I went back and told my boss that because he asked me how I was going. And I told him that, this guy came around the corner, he's like, well, he's not paying attention. He walks out and slams the door. I'm like, who's that? Oh, he's in charge of the art department. And what's funny is, me not knowing anything, no computers, no drawing, with Sharpie and stuff like that, I was able to turn out professional students on different levels. So Jay is a very proficient musician. He plays music and all kinds of guitars and stuff like that. He's also a costume designer. So he built this thing on his own. Going to San Diego, yeah, that's right. Yeah. We built these things too, except now we'll get to Christian in just a bit. Now, when I was at San Diego Comic-Con years ago, me and Jen, we were always thinking, boy, it'd be cool to see one of our characters walking around. And here it is, one of my students, a good friend now, built this thing here for me. So let me tell you guys, if you have an idea crazy, I'm a 15-year-old kid making something like a joke for Pineapple Man, and that's a grown man trying to make it out in the mainstream. And people are laughing at me as I come to my booth. To see it go from your idea to the page to the book that people are carrying around, and then to see it actually physically manifest around, that is the thing to it. So perseverance is a very, very important thing. I can tell you guys, a lot of people, especially living in Hawaii, as I mentioned to Jimmy, if you guys do creative things, you want to be an actor, you want to be an artist, you want to be a singer, because the cost of living is so expensive here, people are like, you're out of your mind. You guys kind of have to be able to do this kind of stuff. But you know what? If we do this kind of stuff, we're able to express ourselves, find joy in our lives, and things happen beyond you that you're not aware of. I have people coming up to me all the time that tell me how much they love their book. I had this kid when I was in Maui that approached me. He saw my Pineapple Man shirt, jumped over a counter at the store, came over to me, and he's like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? I was like, you guys are gonna fight with me? Because he came aggressively to me. I go, I made the shirt. He's like, wait, you made the shirt? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you made Pineapple Man? I said, yeah, why? Is there a problem? He's like, well, when I was 15 years old in Oregon, I read your comic book and I knew that I was gonna move to Hawaii. And here I am. So fast forward to about 10 years later, I'm at Maui Comic-Con, the very first Maui Comic-Con. This guy who came from Oregon showed up at the Comic-Con because I was gonna be there to introduce to me his fiance. And you know what he did? He goes, if it wasn't for this guy, we would have been married. Isn't that weird? So if you do stuff, we all affect each other in different ways we're not aware of. Yeah? So I don't even know this kid, and here he's bringing his fiance to me because of something I did that I was afraid to do, that my family thought I was on drugs. So I gotta tell you, if you guys do stuff, first thing is you gotta believe in yourself. If you have somebody that believes in you, you have to lean on that. I didn't. I couldn't let my ego go. I couldn't believe that somebody would support me like that. And for me, I struggled with it. And despite that, it's weird standing here in front of you guys for 30 years because, like I said, I feel like I don't belong here. Look at all these artists up here, but I'm here. Some guys here I know from before. The number one thing I just want to say again, there's something you guys want to do, you guys just have to do it. There's no guarantee, there's no promise. It doesn't matter how much money you put into it. If you're doing it for money, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Maybe my Chinese blood is screaming at me right now, no, it's about the money. Gotta be practical, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta let go. Call it lele kawa, jump off the cliff and just see what happens. So Jay over here built this costume, and the owner is the young lady right here. So she's dressed up as a character as Mio Kotabata. You can see her right there. And you can see Luke Fun right there in the background. So Mio is his childhood friend. This is a character created by Genesis at the time as just a throwaway character. But because I thought it was so good, I thought, no ways, we're going to put you in reality. And I wish she was going to be here today so she could actually see this, but luckily you've got PhotoLuke over here, so the whole world can see this right now. So this is the first time anybody's seen this character. As you can see, it's very 90s based, but she looks fantastic, right, guys? So like I said before, being multicultural in Hawaii, I'm Chinese too. So I got Luke Fun Chan right over here, just another character I made up as a joke. So this character here is a Chinese opera actor. He's also an assassin. That basically both of these guys work for her. And so I was telling him today to have him stand in front of me is like a dream come true. It's crazy. And then we have this other man over here. This is Christian. He's a very well-known cosplayer here in Hawaii, and he's wearing well, the only thing I can take credit for is the head. So I built this helmet out of rubbish. So say this, you got an idea, right? Who's gonna pay for it? This gentleman back here with the brown hat, Keone, say hi, Keone. This guy taught me how to make stuff out of rubbish. Because he is a true devout Star Wars person. And everything in Star Wars is made out of rubbish. So Star Wars is coming to the store just a little bit. So I started making these things for fun, and I was trying to figure out who I'm gonna have. You know that story, if you build it, they will come. Need actors. This guy right here put it on. So I'm just truly humbled to have these guys here with me. Now, to have them physically stand here again, you go from your idea in your brain, write it in a book, on your desktop, whatever, and then to have it see through this way. Now look, let's be honest. This is not going to buy me a mansion tomorrow. Without my motivation, I'm not doing it. But let me tell you guys, they're here. I'm just a kid who went to Kahuku High School, no college education. And here I am lucky enough and blessed to have my characters standing beside me on the stage over here. Okay? So the thing is, I want to tell a cool little ranch story. Okay, anybody a fan of Chris Pratt? Yeah. All right, you guys know Chris Pratt lived in Hawaii before he was famous? You guys know he had 3 jobs to survive? You guys know he was homeless at the time? Lived in a van. He got the call to Hollywood, went, quit his job, sold his van. So fast forward 10 years later, more than that, I think he's doing a movie, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. He finished 3 days ahead of schedule, went to Maui, took his family with him, because now he's older, he has a family. Drove around Maui, guess what he saw? The van, driving on the road. Turned the car around, chased up the van, flagged the driver, was owned by the same guy he sold it to 9 years earlier. He left Hawaii homeless and broke, returned years later with the family as one of the highest paid actors on the planet. The best part is, he got to show his kid, look, this is where daddy used to live. Isn't that crazy? So, one of the stories I like to tell right now when I'm at Pulo Ranch is, who saw the movie Finding Ohana? All right. Do I hear a funny story? I'm the reason why that movie got made. So as a kid growing up, the town of Cabo where I'm from, there's a place called Pulo Ranch that has a rich history there. Every chance I got, me and my friends would jump the fence and trespass on that property, looking for all these historical sites. If you guys haven't seen Finding Ohana, guess where the kids go and trespass to get lava and caves. So a friend of mine who worked for Marvel Comics, Christina Strain, she used to do Spider-Gwen. She's now a big-time Netflix producer. To come visit me in Hawaii. Why did I have a friend like this? Because a woman believed in me, and this childhood thing I made was Pineapple Man, and I was able to go and develop a relationship with Hollywood, and she didn't come and stay with me. Because of that, Finding Ohana was made. So you guys see what I'm saying is, by the things that we do, the things that we love to do, are there opportunities for other people manifest themselves? You don't realize how you affect people. And I always go back and I always blame Jen. I said, all of this right now, all of this is all her fault. So Finding Ohana was basically based on my friends visiting me here in Hawaii. One of the characters, the grandfather played by Brad from Richmond, is based on himself. He's a grandpa. I'm not a grandpa, so what the heck? Okay? So that's the thing. Chris Pratt was homeless living in a van. I'm just a guy drawing comics in Kaava. And a movie was made based on just somebody visiting me. I'm nobody, at least I thought I was. But if I can do it, Chris Pratt can do it. If you guys want to do something, you guys can do it. Right? You guys all survived COVID. What are you guys waiting for? If you guys want to be in a movie, you guys want to make a comic book, you want to sing, you want to dance. I think everybody here has a supercomputer in your pocket right now, a cell phone. We call this a game changer in Hollywood. That device, you record yourself, film yourself, edit it, add special effects and soundtrack, upload it on many platforms and reach a global audience like that without asking anybody any questions. Please, sir, can I be in your movie? Please, sir, you play my music video. You guys can do it yourself. So if Chris Pratt can be homeless or bad, somebody can visit me in Hawaii, we can do that. Any of you guys can do that. It's very important because look, this thing I made up as a joke is standing in front of you guys right now. And I can't tell you guys, this blows me away every single time. Some of the things you see in the background, you can see little characters we do for different things. These are just some of the drawings and stuff we did for the shows. But what I discovered was being a comic book artist. It's like working in film. You're the writer, you're the director, you're a set designer, costume designer, special effects supervisor, and director of photography. All about storytelling. And I made the transition from comic books to film pretty easily, just based on that. So I have a background in martial arts, and one of my neighbors who lived by me, this guy Jason Scott Lee, wanted me to help them as we're training for this movie Soldier, to help them change the fights for the film. So with 2 days of practice, I storyboarded the thing, and next thing I know, I'm doing fights with Kurt Russell, one of my favorite actors. And I'm just some kid from Aloha who didn't go to college. So that's the recurring thing over and over again. And since that time, I worked in Hollywood. I taught actors and actresses how to punch, how to throw a punch, how to take a punch. I helped choreograph some fights with different people. You guys know who saw John Wick? So a friend of mine, Chad, had me train his girlfriend, Heidi Moneymaker, when she just started, and she looked big time. She actually didn't need my help. She knew everything. But it's just weird how all these different things overlap each other. And just because, again, I always go back and blame Jen because somebody believed in me. I put myself out there on this scary limb and just did it. So when I was in Hollywood, I got to meet a lot of people, had a lot of good experiences, and I had an idea on how to do something. Anybody remember Kikaida? So I grew up watching Kikaida. And while I was trying to figure out, well, I don't really like being in Hollywood, I met this guy, Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise goes, hey, so you're the guy from Hawaii who does fights? I said, yeah, Mr. Cruise. How do you like Hollywood? I said, oh, that's cool. He's like, oh, you having a good time? I said, yeah, it's okay. He's like, yeah, do you need help or any advice? I go, advice from you, shoot what you got. He said, be where you love to be, work with people that you love and admire. And that's it. He said, the reality in Hollywood is this, and this applies to everything. It's something you guys need to know. In Hollywood especially, there's no such thing as loyalty, job security. If you get a hit, you're fine, but after that, you're nobody. I said, well, that's not going to happen to you. He said, well, I've been lucky. I could be gone tomorrow, but I'm well insulated. But this is something you need to be aware of. And when he gave me that advice, we wrapped this movie called Collateral, packed up my stuff, came back to Hawaii, I'm on a mission. 8 months later, Tom Cruise is jumping up and down on his couch, nobody won't talk to him. But he's rebounded since that time. Coming back to Hawaii, everybody thought I was out of my mind. They're like, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'll make a TV show. I'm going to be where I love to be. I'll work with people I love and admire. And we developed something called Dragonfly. And then you guys might see some of the characters right there from my show. And I was trying to figure out, well, tokusatsu, which is what Kamen Rider, what Kikaidas are. Some people know only as Power Rangers. Power Rangers has been dumbed down quite a bit. It's a very detailed series that appeals to a broad audience. So I thought, well, I looked at the current shows and looked at the production values. I said, well, I can do that. How the heck am I going to make costumes? That costume right there is the very first 3D printed costume ever made. So I came across a company called Rapid Technology who approached me to make a Pineapple Man action figure. And I said, well, I'm not doing comics right now, I'm trying to make a TV show. Oh, right there, the governor. See, that's a really cool moment for me because we're in the governor's office. Stan Lee is one of my characters. There's Pineapple Man and Dragonfly. That was a big deal for me. We set this up with Stacey Hayashi to make Stan Lee Day in Hawaii. That was for Amazing Comic Con back in the day. So for all those people that told me I was crazy, I was immature, we could happen in the governor's office, right? So again, so I want to keep telling you guys this. People are going to hate on you for what you're doing. You can't listen to them. If it feels good in your chest, your heart, makes you happy, it might not be financially stable, who cares? Okay, don't be irresponsible, do not pay your rent, that kind of stuff. But you gotta nurture the things that make you happy. Because if you allow yourself to do that, other people see you doing it, and they're able to shine as well. So, came back here, look at my early drawings, how Pineapple Man looked back in the day. So I came back here, I was trying to figure out how to do this show, trying to make costumes. I called my friends at General Giant in Burbank, and I said, hey, I'm thinking about using 3D printing to make costumes. You know what they said? Good luck with that. Yeah. So I pushed ahead and made these costumes based on those drawings right there. Look at that, they're there, yes. And a couple years later, I went to Comic-Con, I ran into one of the guys that run Marvel, and I said, hey, I saw that your Iron Man suit is basically hand sculpted. How come you guys aren't using the digital file to print the costumes? He said, what? I said, the digital file where Iron Man is flying around, picking up the tank, in that digital rig, you can make toys, you can make video game characters, you can make a costume that fit every single body type here with that digital file. Guess what? Iron Man 2 came out, all was 3D printed. Since that time, everything's 3D printed. Guess where it started? Right here in Hawaii. So, so when I came back here to develop something in Hawaii, people told me I was crazy. They said, you know what? Why are you going to go there? There's no talent there. I've been here before. So the whole thing to doing this project here was basically, I designed to come home, be with people I love and admire, and pull from the wealth of talent here. Actors, actresses, models, prop masters, that kind of stuff, filmmakers, this kind of thing here. I was sent on a mission to basically prove them wrong. And I made a lot of people very, very angry. I had people from Fox calling me up, telling me, aren't you the guy that does the fights? I go, yeah. I go, what the hell are you doing? Who do you think you are? I said, what do you mean? They go, you're not this union, not that union. You have no right to make the show. I did it anyways. What I found out later on is when I did that, 3 studios came to Hawaii to look to see what this stunt guy, why he thought that he could make a TV series in Hawaii. And in a roundabout way, a funny thing happened. You guys know Saban Entertainments? They make the Power Rangers stuff. Because they came through Hawaii, they ended up in New Zealand. Now they shoot all the stuff in New Zealand. See how weird it is? They came to find out what I was doing, found it so expensive to another country and did it. Everything produced in New Zealand. So again, it goes back to the whole thing is, people are going to tell you you can't do it, you have no right to do it, you're out of your mind to do it, but you know you need to do it because if the big dogs are going to come and see what a little dog is doing, then you're doing something right. If you're making people mad, you're doing something right. People are getting freaked out for what you're doing, guess what? You're doing something right. And all else, you make people happy, bonus, you're doing something right. So, I don't know, I can go on and on. I'm not really sure what I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of different things over here. I'm just going to open up questions. But you know what I want to do is, I want to ask these guys here, because they felt that that's something they wanted to do, to dress up and, I don't know, represent me, honor me, or rep me. Are you okay with asking a question? Answer a question? No, we'll let you go. It's your first time over here. All right, so I'm going to start with, Jay. So Jay, anything about that? Or what's it? Test. That's right. Okay. So Jay, what was it that made you want to do this, build this costume?
It's going to comic book. I get to see it come to life.
He's embarrassed right now. All right. All right, brother. So, what made you want to dress up today?
Just enjoying it. Love the movie. All the people in it.
How do you feel wearing a character called Luke Funny?
It's pretty fun.
So, fun story. It's right here in the front row is my cousin Luke right over here. So I basically based the character on him. Back in the day, he had long hair. How are you doing today? So what's your name?
Camry.
So why did you come here today?
To dress up.
She did good, yeah? All right. So Christian over here, you all talking with your helmet or not? I'll take it off. Right? Sure. Yeah, ladies, get ready. Yes. All right. So Christian, who's your daddy? What does he do? All right. So Christian, why do you hang out with me? What is your deal? Why are you here today?
Well, because you get to do fun stuff like this. Ever since I met him, he's put me in something. And actually, I'm a big fan of like Kamen Rider and all the old Sentai series. And he asked me to dress up in one of his characters from Dragonfly, which was the mama, the shark. And I jumped at the opportunity. And even if it didn't fit, and at the end of the day I was bleeding, uncomfortable and everything, I wouldn't change it for the world. Because one of the models that I used to live by was, why buy an action figure when you can be one? And if you make stuff like this and you take pictures, it's like a lasting memory. And the memories I've had with Sam and Keone and just getting beat up and just having a lot of fun. That's basically what I do it for and why I keep coming back. You know, I'm old now, but if he asked me to do another fight scene and get dropped on my head or on my back, I'll gladly do it because I just have a lot of fun doing it. That's the reason why I like to do this thing.
Exactly what I got. So there's a whole wealth of talent here in Hawaii that people have these aspirations to do things. Comic books, modeling, acting, doing stunts, but they don't have a venue for it. Right now is the time. If you can actually have everything in your hand right now, you guys can do it yourselves. Luke's got his own YouTube channel here. Everybody's got a cell phone here. So now you don't have to leave. One of the things that I remember why I wanted to Pineapple Man here is because everybody said you have to go to the mainland to do this. And I was talking to Tom Cruise about The Last Samurai. I said, hey, who's in the movie with you? He said, you're not going to know these people. I said, try me. He started naming these people. I go, oh, Watanabe Ken. Yeah, how do you know him? I go, because we're in Hawaii. Everything comes to us first. We're kind of that middle point. We're the gateway between East and the West. And the benefit of that is we get all the cool stuff before everybody else does. So you build upon that. So Christian here, everybody here is just fantastic to work with, but they don't have a platform. So I just had to come back here and make a platform. And I'm still struggling with it. It's been up and down. Keone can tell you, you can get so close. Let me tell you guys, I had my show on M. Night Shyamalan's desk, and I turned him down because he's M. Night Shyamalan. But I didn't want him to ruin my story. So instead of taking the paycheck, I wanted to honor the people that backed me up. Maybe further down the line, we'll be able to figure this out. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but I didn't want to waste their effort and their belief in me. I want to show you guys something here real quick. So this thing here is made out of things I bought at the swap meet. This is a bicycle helmet. These are juice lids. This is a transformer. Optimus Prime thing, and these antennas. TV aerials. So Keone right there taught me. If you guys get a chance, you guys go in the back, you can see all the Star Wars stuff. So going back to Star Wars, the can-do attitude about doing it yourself, it's kind of weird from comics to going to live action stuff like this, and I learned from Keone that basically everything Star Wars is made out of rubbish. And so I learned how to apply that kind of stuff to my live action. Look at those monsters back there. They're just broken kendo gear, Halloween hockey mask. That's the best I could do based on the character designs I had. Everything there is all 3D Pro. That's Christian right there in the shark helmet right there, bleeding quietly with a smile on his face right now. They have weird people around you. So everything is doable. You just have to figure out how to do it and just not try to lose your mind. Because the thing is this, I remember Jen had told me one time, I'm a big Star Trek fan. There was an episode where Captain Picard didn't want to have the pressure and responsibility about being a captain. So the Q turned him into the doctor of the ship. So less pressure, he still survive. But while the new captain is making all these decisions, he kept saying, oh, you should do this, you should do this. Q's like, well, you want to be a doctor? You want to be a captain? And that's what Jen told me. So you guys got to figure out in your life, do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a captain? Now being a doctor is a cushy, lucrative thing. It can be, right? But who's gonna drive your ship? Who's gonna be in charge of your destiny? Nothing is guaranteed, nothing is promised. I mean, the thing is this, like I said, I'm not gonna have a mansion tomorrow, but look, I got to see my characters come alive. The child, I always tell people, the creative adult is the child that survived. I'm still 10 years old. All right, I guess that's enough of me talking. Anybody got any questions or concerns or so far? No way, don't be shy, I don't bite too much. Let's start with this guy.
What's your plan for Pineapple Man from here on out?
Oh, what's my plans for Pineapple Man? Well, that's interesting. We were approached to do a live action movie twice. I have in my office, I have a mock-up movie poster. Jason Scott Lee was interested in doing it, and Kerry Tagawa was interested in being the villain for the show. And it just seems like every time we're about to get a deal, when people see money, they start fighting and it dissolves. A lot of people don't know in Hollywood, things don't just happen overnight. Sometimes it takes 10, 15 years before it actually manifests into doing things. So I actually had a 3D television series in Japan actually approached me to do a live 3D animated show for Pineapple Man, and we were about to negotiate with that, and guess what? The tsunami hit. So it's this kind of thing. So things stop you for a reason. But I'm still here. I'm still grateful that people come and see me. I'm blown away the fact that people like what I do. People tell me that the book is good, and I ask them, are you sure? And they're like, don't you know? I said, actually, I don't, because I'm so close to it, I might be biased. All right, well, I guess that's, any questions or anything like that?
I always got questions. I'm just impressed always with your amount of putting you know, Hawaii history, culture within. Are there any plans for future characters or future things that, you know, would incorporate that Hawaiian
Well,
culture?
you know what's funny is, you know Hawaiian culture story, yeah. So I'm the guy who did the first Hawaiian superhero called Pineapple Man, right? And I was kind of concerned about these things. And then Frank Hewitt, he invited me to the Native Hawaiian senior citizen group in my Manalo. I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. If it's going to fly or not. So I'm talking about my story about how I came. And one of the tutus goes, excuse me, Sam, I have one question. How come your character doesn't look Hawaiian? So my answer is this. New Hawaiian isn't Hawaiian. New Hawaiian is Hawaiian, Chinese, Filipino, German, Dutch, Irish, English. So we're all mixed. As the character is, as I am. And the cool thing about me at that moment, all the kapuna in the back all nod their heads. So I knew at that point all the political. About 2 years ago, at the Kauai Con, Island Kauai, I showed up with my new character, Hawaiian Adventure Kanaka, that actually debuted here at Amazing Comic Con. And on his face is a kaili and two paddles. You guys might see this with the Igbo group and stuff like that. I was sitting there at my table. There were 11 guys, all matching the same shirt, breathing hard. One little angry old lady with a stick. So I started talking to the customers and they left. I go, hey, how you guys doing? She starts cussing me out in Hawaiian. Spit flying everywhere, pointing at the book, pointing at the shirt, pointing at the young men with her. When she stopped, ran out of gas. So I answered her, I go, Aloha. She's like, you just answered me in Hawaiian, what's going on? I go, what's the problem? So my first instinct, I tell you guys, all these young men here around me, they clearly came to kill me. My first instinct was to lean back, kick the table, and let's just see what happens. But I took a breath and I recognized what was happening. They came here to beat me up because they saw this character with a symbol that they all relate to, and the name is Campos. Hawaiian. Who the heck is this guy? Who do you think you are? So I had to make a decision to explain to them who I was. They go, who you are? What you think? I said, well, let me tell you a joke. What do you get if you cross a Hawaiian and a Filipino? They're like, okay, so what? I go, you have the urge to clean your yard, but you have no land. You want to know who I am? That's who I am. I come from farmers. We never own our own land. Like, what's the problem? So I started talking about different elements of the story, like Leo Mama, for example. I started talking about the thing about Kamo Ali. They all look at each other. I go, where are you guys from? Oh, born and raised here. I go, who's Kamo Ali? They look at each other. They look at each other. Answer me. Well, that's the highway. I look at the auntie. How come these guys don't know what Kamo Ali is? You guys know what Kamo Ali is? That's the name of God. So over the course of the interaction, I basically started to school these guys on their island about the Manuhuni, not the Menuhuni, about Kirlaki stones, and basically put the burden of responsibility on themselves. For me, I saw it as an opportunity. So instead of fighting with these guys, I recognized the hurt that was in their hearts and tried to put that responsibility on themselves to better themselves. So they went from basically, brother, you're going to die, to, oh, uncle, you like lunch. I would do that twice that day. So like I said, it's weird because somebody believed in me to push me to create stuff. I was in a weird position now years later to kind of help heal somebody. So who knows what you're gonna do, yeah? So part of this is why I pushed a Hawaiian story, the modern Hawaii, the Hawaii that we are, even the things is to basically let people know who we really are. The different cultures are here. I mean, my first comic book, besides the first full-size comic book, Pineapple Man #1, we had night marchers and chicken fights inside. So it's gonna get. So I think that's about it for now. Anybody say any questions? So if you guys want to come check it out, I got my book in my table. You can see the original artwork and stuff like that. I encourage you guys to check out all the other arts. There are so many other people from different islands from the Hawaiian Comic Alliance that are here today. You guys can see their flavor. And the cool thing about it is, just because you're from Hawaii doesn't mean you have to do a Hawaii-themed comic book. We got things from Hawaii in the future. We got vampires. We got medieval stories. There's all kinds of different things here. Basically, there's something for everybody here. And then again, it's just a wonderful group of just talent just everywhere. And I'm truly humbled to be here. And thank you guys for sitting here and listening to me ramble for an hour. And thank you guys. I'll give you guys a hand. Look at these guys stand here. They're amazing. They make me look really, really good. Again, guys, if there's something you guys want to do, don't let anybody tell you not to do it. Even yourself, especially yourself. Because I quit so many times. I'm still here today. Okay? All right, mahalo everybody. there. Right there. Alright, so I guess yeah. How you guys doing? You
Okay. Perfect.
Good job, man.
Oh,
You
this
look
is
good.
you,
You look
right?
really good. Nah, he just like to include me in there.